Hello everyone, I'm very happy to be here. So I'm an L&D professional for about 10 years. I've been working mostly in tech companies, and I will actually talk about something that was touched upon by some of the previous talks already, but I will share some of my experiences and some case studies around that, especially around automation. So we'll talk about the right learning at the right time and how we automated it and companies that work for maximizing efficiency. And again, it's very hard. So the challenge is also something that was touched on in the previous talks. Our learners, our employees in companies are overwhelmed. It's like information everywhere. Our attention span is super small. And what we notice in the tech world and probably in other industries as well is that people struggle to actually make the time to learn. I love the experiential learning and how you actually take people out of their day-to-day. What we do is exactly the opposite, but responding to the same challenge. So we want to make sure we remain relevant and fight these challenges of cognitive overload, relevance issue. We cannot do one size fits all anymore, and people cannot make the time for that. So what we are doing is we are automating as much as we can the experience, and we are focusing on people learning. So this technically means that we are providing just-in-time learning, and in a way that is very concrete and applicable. We will match learning experiences with the employee journey, and we will match it with the HR cycle. So typically, in companies in general, you will have HR moments such as talking about compensation, talking about performance, and usually this comes a bit as a ritual. So in the current company I currently work for, we have these kind of rituals, and we match learning experiences with it. And I will share some concrete examples just next. We also ensure to make it bite-sized, so it's easy to digest, easy to understand, and easy to apply in a pretty timely fashion. And we use empathy. We saw in the previous talk as well the power and the importance of emotions. So empathy makes people feel like this learning is here to support them, it's here to help them. They're not being lectured or taught at, but they're receiving advice, they're receiving tips, and we're here coming to them as an L&D team in a very friendly fashion. And this helps memorization. It helps remember because you remember your positive experience, you remember how you felt at a given point in time and how something made you feel. So the examples, I promised. One thing that is happening in my company, and we have a decentralized function, so I'm not taking the credit for this, our IT team did it. We have cybersecurity training. You might be familiar with the threat, phishing emails, we all get that all the time. The way we train employees to react and respond appropriately to phishing is through simulation. So we have a system that embeds in our emails, and sometimes, randomly, it sends a fake phishing email. And if you click it, you'll have a little pop-up telling you, hey, it was a trap, you were not supposed to click that, and it will teach you not to do it. Another thing we did that is automated and helps people learn in the flow of work and at moments that matter is an automation for people who become managers for the first time. It's an important shift in a career, your role is completely different, and you might need help, and it might feel very lonely in this moment, like stakes are high, your responsibilities have increased. So we send them a series of emails, it's triggered by our HR system, and we tell them, okay, we know how it feels, and we know it's hard, and these are a few things you can implement, and you need to talk about that with your team, and this is what other people who went through this journey have done, and so on and so forth. And we also message the manager of that person, telling them, hey, this employee in your team just became a manager. How about asking them how they feel in their position and if they started implementing this action and this action with their team. Pretty similarly, and I mentioned this one already, performance management. We also have a round of automated email tips that will go aligned with our performance review cycle, giving people tips and tricks on how to handle their performance conversation, for managers on how to approach specific performance situations, such as overperformance or underperformance. And my last example of automation is one that maybe I've been using to prepare this speech. But it's an AI coaching platform that can embed in your video conference system. and provide you with direct, immediate feedback on how you're doing with your speech and with your speaking. And it told me that my speech was so long. So yeah, it's fully individual work, relying on systems and automation and reducing the work process. So a few tips on building automations if you're interested in implementing this in your organization. Integrate your systems and validate that your system can integrate with one another. In my company, we use an HR system that is very common on the market, and it interfaces pretty well with other systems. Some of the tools that you've seen in the demo and in the examples are like very new or innovative, and I will share the name of these tools, and I'm happy to talk about it in the networking sessions after. I'm gonna pay for this. So yeah, integration of systems is the first thing. The second thing is around company events. So we talked about the HR cycle, but typically the example of presentations and public speaking, when people have customer events, when you have an annual summit or something like this, you know that people will actually give presentations. So they will need to train for this, and they need it at this specific moment. So when you offer this at this specific moment, you will increase your relevance. And we anticipate as much as we can by using this cycle and these events that we know about, we know it will happen, so we can program and pre-schedule these kind of things that are being sent to people. I'll end with a little bit of interaction on the results we're getting. Can you guess the average opening rate of this automation that we have for first-time managers? I wish that was 95. 40, 70, 40, 70, 60. It's 80.
Ah, nice.
That's really good. I really think for marketing, maybe not that we are doing marketing, but it's around 30 to 50%. So we are very, very happy with this opening rate. I believe that because we do it right in time, it would help. So manager rates for the tips on the performance review. I guess here. 16, 17. It's a little bit lower here. However, is it the same? Is it lower or higher for employees? Lower? It's actually higher. People love to get to know how they can ace their performance review. They've been working so hard. They don't want to get taxed. They want to, they want to get tips on that. And then the effectiveness rating for our public speaking practice with the AI coach, out of 5 stars.
5.5.
It's 4. We just realized that we have room for improvement. All right, so just a quick recap. Meeting your learner where they are by knowing what matters for them, how they are in their journey can make a really, really big difference. These are the tools, some of the names of the tools we're using. Mantra is the one for cybersecurity, Yuli is the one for public speaking, and Pin is the one for automated sequence and campaigns that can plug with your HR system. And make it fun, make it nice. You remember it when it's enjoyable. Whatever it is. I could ask, forget the S, you have just one.